All right, so last week, when we are talking about cleaning the data, we talked so well about the duplicate, and I was happy when somebody dropped it on the chart that that's one of the high point of last week. Yeah, it's essential. And before you remove duplicate, like I said last week, you must be sure that what you regard as duplicate is actually a duplicate because sometimes data are repeated not because they are duplicates, it's just because they represent some other things. And we have several unique identifiers. If the unique identifier for each row, is different. One of the unique identifier for role A is different from one of the unique identifier of role B. That speaks to the fact that though they might be repeated, but they are not duplicates. So there's difference between repeating something and being duplicate. If everything is the same across the row, then it's a duplicate. But if there are things that changes along the row, especially when it comes to the unique identifier, then be sure that those are not duplicate. So that's one of the rules. So knowing what a duplicate is. We did also um, deleting row. We did some things around um, separating text from itself. Putting we use the first name and the last name, and we did some things around yes that. And before time we moved into um, the pivot table, which we I think we've done in week 2. We did a bit of it because we ought to be doing visualization in that particular week, that's last week, but that visualization will be done now. And one of the things we want to achieve by that, I believe you must have come across it in the Power BI class, where you must have created dashboard. So let me ask, how many dashboard have you built? So please drop on the chat how many dashboards have you built as a person, yeah? Because we will use some of the things we saw in Power BI here today. Oh, you've built just one, someone has built two, good, interesting. All right, so I'm not judging you by that because I leave that to the facilitator to judge that. I don't know. Okay, so today we'll be using our pivot table and we'll be creating pivot chart. So let's get to it now. In week 2, which was in last week, I was always mixing it up with last week. We did a bit of pivot table, and now we'll be creating the same pivot table we created in week 2, that is last 2 weeks, and we will as well create a pivot chart out of it. So we'll be going as fast as possible today because we'll have to demonstrate it. So what we'll eventually have today, we'll have a dashboard built in Excel, and we'll see how that works. And after the dashboard is built, then we'll see how we can make the dashboard interactive. It will be a very good one to see. All right, so just like we know, we'll create the pivot chart here. Pivot table, beg your pardon. All right, so we have it here and now. So just like we said, we can have several things being done here. And because we want to create a pivot table, we want to create a pivot chart out of this pivot table. So we possibly want to see, okay, what are we really looking at? So we can say for this pivot chart that we're about to create, so what relationship do we want to see? What relationship do we want to see? I possibly could have audited the um, Power BI class so as to see the dashboard that was built there, and we can replicate the same thing here. But I haven't, I didn't do that. But let's just create some relationship from this our usual data. So I'm using this again so that in case you want to try your hand on it, you can have it handy to actually demonstrate what we're doing if you want to follow as I go ahead. So now, we possibly might want to check some things, and I like some people to drop in the chat. What do you want to see? What do you want to see? So we want to create a dashboard. Let's call it a sales dashboard. Sales performance dashboard. So let me create a tab here and say sales performance dashboard. So sales performance dashboard, I want to see how my sales is doing. So I love to just have everything white out. So if you want to have it in under background, it's okay. Just love my white space. All right, so and we can play around with the colors at the end. So we can have the same thing here at the top, but now we don't know how wide our dashboard will be. Maybe we should not do this yet, but since I've started, let me just do it. All right, so we can increase the font size and we can just give it some background. All right, so and we can change this instead of black to white and we can make it bold. Okay, great. So now we want to bring those charts here, and since we have named it sales performance sales performance dashboard, so we know what should go in there. So let's go to our raw data. So what are those things that could actually be on a sales performance dashboard? So now we possibly might want to see, okay, what is the sales in a particular category? Or so we have several things that we have here that we can check our sales across. We can check our sales across a city. We can check our sales across the state. We can check our sales. We can check our um, top customers. We can check sales across products. So we can check out the product that are giving us the most sales, maybe the top 10 or the top 5. We can also check our sales across the category, or we can also as well check it across the subcategory. So I mean, these are possibilities that we might. So we just want to see, okay, what is sales driver? Okay, we possibly might want to see, okay, what quarter makes the most sales, what's our sales in January, what's our sales like in February, and we can check year on year. So and that will inform what we'll be doing with this pivot table, because what we actually create on this pivot table is what we translate into the pivot chart. So now let's start and say we want to first see our total sales. Okay. But before saying that, okay. So all right, let's create first something, a relationship, say maybe um, sales by category. So we understand how to create the pivot chart. Now we've created it from this variable. We have this pivot table. We can just create a relationship between the sales and the a category or even the segment. So say for instance, we say segment and then we say the sales. Okay, we'll come over here and we say the sales. Okay, so the sales, so we say sales per segment. So very easy. If I need to create a pivot chart out of this relationship that I've just created, so all I need to do is just to come here to analyze. So you can see that we already have an additional tab created for the pivot table tool. So I've just come to the analyze part of it, and then I'll see here in the tools, I'll see pivot chart. So that is what I want to create. So um, now I want to create a pivot chart, and because I'm looking at these three, so we have three category, no, segments now. So three segments. So we have three segments. So I want to create a pivot chart representing this data that we have before. So all I need to do is just to click on it. That's the pivot chart at the top. So I have chart options Yeah, so I have different option of chart that I could use. The first is the clustered column chart and the line chart. We could have also the pie chart, bar chart, the area chart, the axis scattered, and also the map, stock, surface, radar, trim map, the sunburst, histogram, um, and all other ones. So we need to understand how I believe that we should have, would have understood that from a Power BI class, how to actually apply the appropriate chart to a data set. So now we're looking at the category card data. So, and this data has been classified into segments. So we possibly want to look at it from a column, a cluster column chart. We won't be looking at it from a line chart. Line chart is best to check trends. So if we want to check what has happened over time, so a line chart is best to tell us that, and we'll be doing that shortly. And also and we possibly want to use a pie chart just to see what is the contribution of all of these to this big um, to the whole. So a pie chart could actually help us pull that out, and a bar chart could also do that. So we have we can choose between these three options, basically. So just for the start, let's just go with this cluster column. And in the cluster column chart, we can actually go with several options um, of this. So we can go with several options, but we'll just stick with the 2D. All right. So once we say, okay, the chart is created. All right. So this chart is created and we can just bring the chart to our dashboard. Okay. And then we'll come clean it up here. All right. So we'll come clean it up here. So let me not clean it up one after the other, or possibly just use this as a sample for others. Okay, I'm just trying to see how it fits in and you can see everything at the time. Okay, great. So let me make it bigger so that by the time I'm cleaning it up, I'll put it back to where I would be putting it because we have more than one chart on this. So now we want to clean this chart up and we want to remove things that we don't want. So first thing, we don't need these lines, these horizontal line that are across, we don't need them because by the way, so all you need to do to remove this horizontal line is just first the tip of your arrow, let the tip of your arrow fall on one of the lines and then click. So by the time, because if you don't make your tip of, if you don't make the tip of your arrow to be on one of the lines, if you just click, so the whole chart will be selected, all right? But if you pay attention, make the tip of your arrow be on the line. Once it's on the line, then click to select. And once you select, you can just delete using the delete button on your keyboard. So you have taken that out. You can also take this out, the value on the axis, that is the vertical axis value, which is the y-axis value. So you can take that out. All right. So you can hide this. You can hide this, but you might want to also leave it. This also you might want to take out, but also just maybe you want to be able to identify your charts as you go ahead. I mean, when you're presenting, you might want to name this appropriately. And remember that this is sales by segment. Okay, sales by segments. So this is sales by segment. So you might want to retain that name. We can format it as we so please. All right. So but now, we have removed the value on the y-axis, which should tell us, and we have also removed the line. We cannot tell what the value is without hovering on the chart. So we possibly want to add something. So we don't just remove things and don't replace it. So you want to add the value because you want people to at a glance know the value um, of each of the what value each of these column represents. So we come over to this green button on the upper right of the chart and we say add. So now, these are the several things we could actually add. So those things that we have taken out, we can add them back. So we can add axis title, like if we want to hide this that says sums of sales and this that says segment, we might want to hide them and then bring in axis title saying that this is the sales on the sales on the y-axis and segment on the x-axis. So I mean sales on the vertical axis and then segments on the horizontal axis. So we might want to do that, but for now we're not doing that. So data label. So this is important. This is where I'm going. So like I said, we've taken out those value that could help us know what value each of these column represent. Now we want to put those value back by introducing our data label. And so data label not looking too good at the moment, so we want to format it. And so we go to more option. So in this we can format as appropriate. So the number part of it, so we want to say this is not just a general data. This is a currency. So because it is the value of sales, so it brings it out in US dollar, which is appropriate for our data. And we say, okay, the decimal place is just two decimal places. All right. So I haven't done that. We're good. So we can do some more things with it. Um, okay, so we might want to just do some formatting. Okay, so these are some of the things we can do to the label. We can make it at the center. Now it's outside of the column. We can bring it into the column inside base. We can make it inside end. We can put it in the center of it, and we can leave it outside where it was. So doing that, we can also do more to it by then coming to text view. Um, so we can change the color of the text. All right. So we can change the color of the text. And so we can make the value bold, and we can also use this upper part to do some formatting to it. And you know, your color combination sense will now play a lot of role in this. So your color combination sense will play a lot of role in this. And you know what is good for the eyes. You want to make sure that your chart first is attractive. You want people to look at it and say, oh wow. I mean, sometimes it might not even be making a lot of sense, but that people could actually look at it and say, wow, I think maybe that's one of the things you want to achieve with your chart. So, okay, I'll leave that to you to play around with. So we already achieve calling for the number, that is the data value. And now we know without any blink that this is 1.1 million sales in this particular consumer segment, and in the corporate segment we have 706, and this that. So now we have all of that, so we can take this out. All right, we can hide this. So we can hide all feed boarding. So and now that we've um eating all of those field boarding, so we have our chart results. But one of the things that will help us with our chart is, I mean, setting this very clearly so anybody looking at it knows that it is sales value that we're talking about, because it could be profit by segment, but now we've qualified it by sales by segment. But we can go I mean, as far as bringing in axis title, and we call these sales, and sales, um, and then we'll call this segment. Okay, but as the so pleases, like I said, this possibly might not be required. You just don't want your chart to be to be busy, so you can take this out, and you have this. It's already represented at the top in the title saying sales by segment. And if you want to make do of the axis label, you can as well just take out the title. But there's no rule that says you can have both at the same time. So I haven't done that. We possibly, know. So be careful while selecting your chart to be sure that you're selecting what you want to select. Okay, so we have this. All right. So we can do better with this. All right. Mm, And I'll still format it because it's not looking good. I just want not to get stuck formatting and we just lose time. But I believe you get my point. All right. So now we've created a particular um, thought from our data. So we might also want to do another. We might want to do another one. We possibly want to have everything, all of our pivot table on the same sheet. So now, so we just go select our table range. Okay. So we select our table range, which is, and that's our table range. We say okay, and so we want it in the existing sheet, and we say okay. All right, so now it has given us another table. So the first we did was the segment, and then we might want to do something for the category. All right, so the same way we did the first one, we just select the category, and then we select the sales. Okay, we select the cells. So we already have that, and we can also as well create cells by category on this. Um, and at this time, we possibly might explore another option. Maybe this time we want to see the pie. So one thing is you want to not just have a style of chart on your dashboard, so that I mean it's a lot of flavor on it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the same way we did for the first one, we'll do the same year or so. So we'll format this, and yeah, good. This is not even having any data. I mean any um so let's first hide all of this. So it gives us a better space. Let's change our, excuse me. So let's format this with the same brush that we use for that, and say category. That's sales by category. I meant to type sales by category. So all right, so we have that, and now we want to we don't know what value this is until we hover around it. So we want to also bring some value to this. So the same thing, the data label. All right, so we possibly just want to, for the sake of this, format mm, okay, wait, which one did I select? Is it not giving me, or is giving me? I don't know. All right. So let's format this then. I don't know why it's not giving me the same thing I wanted. Okay. I don't want to go and format again. All right. So let's just quickly do that. So these are numbers. All right. So let me not just limit it to one. Let me do a sieve. I'm doing for all. Okay. All right. So it's currency, and then I might want to play around with it. You can come play around with it here at the top here. Change this to this, and you want to give it something else as a background. Okay, that's good. All right, making it bold. It's bold already. Okay. Oh, wow. I was joking with myself, right? All right, great. Well, why are you changing my color? Okay, let me come over here. All right, this take precedence. Okay, great. Wow. Okay, good. Wow. I don't know what's playing out. Um, okay, let me change my no. Okay, this is good. All right, so we get out of here and not just get stuck with formatting. Like I said, format. Wow, what's happening? Um, okay, so we can spend a lot of time formatting all of this. Now, so we can do more. What other thing can we do? Um, okay, so let's move ahead. Now, that is done. We possibly might want to put another thing now. Yes, I want us to use the line chart now, and one of the ways that we can introduce the line chart into this, I love the line chart, and if you see that I left a space at the top for it, I actually left a space for it. It takes the largest spot in my heart, so I always put that space for it. So now we can do something. So, like I said, you want to check something, you want to check a trend, the best to look at for is actually the line. Yeah. So, and one of the ways to check trend is possibly we're considering sales over time. So, if you're considering sales over time, you want to use a line chart to represent that. It gives you at a glance what you're looking for. All right. So, we just introduce another pivot table to help with that. All right. Yeah. So, let's get it. Let's get our data from the same place. We're using the same data source for everything. Okay, all right. So now all we could do is to then say we can use any of our dates. So we can use our say our order date. All right. So let's use our order date to see what is the sales over time. So order date over sales. So well, sales. You see that immediately I chose other dates, right? I chose other dates and Excel had actually created the year for me, year, quarter, and the date. So year, quarter, and the date. So it has classified my date just one. So, and you possibly must have seen that also in Power BI that once you have a data set, so it breaks it down to day, I mean year, month, quarter, week, I mean days. So it has done the same thing here. So I possibly don't need all of that. So I can remove quarter. I don't need a quarter, but I can also leave it there. It just makes, let me leave it and let's see what comes up. Okay. So it just gives me in Power BI it gives us um, the the possibility to drill down our data. So okay, all right. So I have this here already. So I'll just create a pivot chart. Now I'm using line this time around, and this is what I want to do. So okay, so now, so what this does is that if I want to look at quarters, so I can actually select, and this will also be important for me when I'm creating my slicer, but I don't just want to bother myself with all of this. So I can just go with the year, just the year, or I just go with just the day. So well, let me just leave all of it. If I need to take it out, I'll take it out later. Okay, so we're not formatting on this page. So we're taking you to where we need you. So we need you here. Please go rest for some time. We'll call you back. All right, so this is what we have. The same thing we did to the first one, we're doing to this so that our chart could have more space. And we're taking this out as well. All right, so we're hiding all of this. So we know, and okay, um, we'll say sales trend. Okay, all right, so and this is how our sales has been trending. Um, all right, so I want to put the same way we've been doing. So we want to put a value to this. We don't just want. Mm, let me reduce my screen a bit and move these big boys down. So, and I want to have this come here and also to the right and then down. Okay, so let me further reduce this and then um, maybe provide room for the third chart, which could be okay. So this is what I'll do. I'll make it have two box chart layer. All right. There's a way I will later do this that both we have the same height and width. All right. Just let me be doing all of this for now. Mm. It will help me with the approximate value I will use at the end of the day. All right, it's good. So now we can as well, okay, we've not formatted these. All right, so let's format these. Um, okay, so we've lost our handle. Mm, yeah, no, I don't want this. I don't want the chart. I've thrown away my. Uh, no, there's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. All right. Oh, I've lost my number. Just a minute, please. Uh, No, that wasn't what I was looking for. So be careful when you're closing your tools. So I've closed mine now, and so the best way for me to call that fault. Oh no, I don't need this. No. Okay, so let me waste my strength and pull it up again and pray that it comes with me this time around. Oh wow. Um. Okay, now it's coming for me. I deleted it actually, and I'm finding it difficult to call back. Okay, I won't try deleting it again now. Respect myself. Okay, so taking this out, take this out, hide this. Alright, so this was what I was calling for. I was looking for my chart element where I can do my data label and then do some formatting. More option. Okay. The number, its currency, and just like we did previously, we might want to format it. So the formatting we can just do it here so that it won't just be going. Oh no, that's not what I want to format. I want to format the numbers. Okay. All right. So something like that. Um. Okay. So possibly might want to check another level. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So um. Now we're getting closer to it. So we've done a line chart. We've done the column. So let's bring in a bar chart. So what can we use to demonstrate that? Let's go again to our data and say, okay, what is the sales by city, right? By city. Okay, all of the sales by city, right? So we possibly want to check what the contribution by city is, or we want to check our top selling items. All right, so let's do by city, then we move on to the excuse me. So I want okay, let's do by item first. So so we'll be using the item name. Where's the item name? All right, good. So we'll be using the item name and we get the ones that are doing the most. All right. Okay. So we can then insert again and yeah, get our data. The data range is from here, and so yeah, we doing it on this same sheet, and so we're saying the product name. Okay, product name and the sales against each of the product name. All right. Okay, so we have the product name and against it, the sales for each of them. So um, now we just create a pivot chart against it. So a bar chart will be best for this particular representation. Okay. All right. So one thing that we could also do so as to have the top ones, one way we can go about it is we can just do a filter here. Mm, okay. So let's filter by sales if this filter isn't coming out. All right. So um, let's do some value field setting and say it should be the sum of it. Okay. My so I'm not summing A to Z from this. Okay, okay. Yeah, I see where and because I'm having everything on the same page. All right. For this, okay, we can still work around it. So let's continue to have it this way. We'll work around it when we get into um the chart. Okay, let's me insert the chart now. Let it look as it's looking now. So work around it. Yeah, if we can have it formatted here, we'll go and format it in here. All right. Okay. Okay, so we can change the layout here. Oh, messing this up. Okay. So let's add the bar to it. Oh wait. So wait. I think instead of getting this messed up, um, we might just do something for this particular one so that we have it in another manner. I don't want to have everything on this page. Okay. Okay, we already have our value, but we still have this and we have not activated our bar, but we won't be seeing anything. Okay, so we need to reduce this. So just a minute, mixing something up. Mm, sorry, my Excel is frozen. Let me take that again. I don't want to. Okay, good. Yeah. So my workspace is frozen. Oh, I don't want to lose this. Hope you can still hear me.
Sure, well with you, sir.
Okay, yes. Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, what's happening now? They should not be. My Excel is frozen. Oh yeah.
I can see your customer.
My cursor is moving, but Excel is not acting. Yes, I've tried to save by the shortcut, but it's not. I'm not sure it is saved. It has saved. Yeah.
Just wait a little. I know it has auto recovery though, but
Okay. Thus far, hope it has been helpful. All right. Immediately I see this on this page, I know we are not going anywhere. Okay, so this is what I'll do. Instead of us waiting, I'll kill this motel 4. Oh wow. All the shortcut to killing this is not coming up. Okay. May employ tax manager to help me. Tax manager. Hmm. And I'm still sharing my screen. Alright, just a minute, I'll back. Just a learning curve. If your laptop freezes, pray to God that there is backup, and if there's backup, just kill everything. And by the time you come off and you don't have a backup, you start all over again. Isn't that good? Good. Alright, so well, we lost some things, but we can pick it up from there. I remember we named this sales trend. And something I learned when I was doing designs, I was told don't let um don't let control S depart from you. So always use control S as you go along in your work. So now I think I've forgotten that since I left design. So because if you're designing, you could have spent all your time working on on a particular design, and you can lose everything just at the time because your system froze. All right, we're back. So after this, I think was when we're trying to do the dates, right? So I've observed something which seems to be a glitch, and it's calling it that because other things are here on this page, it's limiting me from filtering from here because I should be able to filter from here. All right, trade option. Okay, I should be able to request for what I want. Okay, let me try and do it in a separate sheet and see if that comes up. Okay. For the particularly for the time. So all the date. No, I wasn't working for that date, right? I was expected to do a bar chart for CT. No, product name and the sales. So I wasn't doing all of this. Okay.